What's going on, everyone? So the Los Angeles Lakers have a lot of kind of getting rumors. I mean, obviously it's the Lakers. It's the offseason. Everything's going to be attached to the Lakers, right? Like I even talked about in the Ryan Rollins video, right? Originally it was like 4 teams, and then like they re-announced it, and it was like the Lakers were added on. So it's like, you throw the Lakers on because you know it's going to get traction. You know it's going to get clicks. You're going to have people like myself and many other Laker channels that are going to talk about, Lakers are interested in Ryan Rollins, right? It just generates the buzz, right? So you got to keep that in mind. But you look at the Lakers roster and you look at the situation, right? Lakers have 15 roster spots, right? Completely filled. Could they run it as is? It's very possible. I mean, they have the full roster locked up, right? But you kind of look at the news that's out. You look at the information that's out there. It's like, Lakers are favored to land D'Anthony Melton. D'Anthony Melton, based on recent reports, is expected to go to the Lakers. Now, he is still weighing his options. He has several teams that are interested in him, but the expectation is that he's going to sign with the Lakers. He's had interest in the Lakers since basically the draft combine, right? So he's a guy that makes sense for the Lakers. Lakers could really use him. He'd play a big role. But if you were to go get D'Anthony Melton, you have a Gabe Vincent and D'Anthony Melton kind of wash, right? Like they're kind of giving you a lot of the same stuff, right? So it makes sense like, hey, you might want to trade Gabe Vincent, right? Al Horford, right? If you go and bring in Al Horford would be great. Now, again, he's kind of weighing his options again between the Warriors, the Lakers, and maybe even retirement. But you look at that situation, right? Lakers bring in Al Horford, right? Jackson Hayes moves into the third big role. I love that. That's great. But what about Maxi Kleber? You don't really need Maxi Kleber as much anymore if you were to go get Al Horford. So it'd be nice to trade Maxi Kleber. So now Gabe Vincent and Maxi Kleber are 2 guys that you're looking to move and looking to get off of because they don't make as much sense anymore, right? And you kind of go down the list of all these guys that the Lakers are, rumored to be a part of in trades, right? If Andrew Wiggins, right, ends up getting traded to the Lakers, just sending out Rui Hachimura and maybe Connect and these other guys, right? So, but you got Jake LaRavia. Jake LaRavia can kind of play that Rui role for you and is actually better suited at the 3 than Rui Hachimura. So, you kind of like look at the shape and the information and the way that this roster is looking, and it just screams that something is in the works. That the Lakers are working on something. You've also had several reports from different sources that have all said the Lakers are active in conversations for various players and trades, still looking for backup centers. You also have a lot of reports about the Lakers actually being in active talks for, potential 3-team trades and stuff like that to land guys. And, some of those trades, we don't know what those players are, which, the Lakers, for being honest, Lakers usually operate in silence, right? Now, I'm not saying every trade that they've ever made has not been out there. I mean, a lot of trades that the Lakers have made, even in the last recent years, have been out there. I mean, the Utah trade was reported for like a year, right? So again, there's been a lot of things that have came out, but a lot of things that have been quiet, right? The Luka thing, obviously, is a great example. I mean, Dorian Finney-Smith, people kind of feel like it came out of nowhere, but that's because he was going to Memphis. The Dorian Finney-Smith trade, that was heavily reported. Like Lakers were active for, again, that was another guy that they were trying to get even the previous year, right? So that was a guy that was heavily reported. But like Rui Hachimura, D'Angelo Russell, right? Like those kind of guys came out of left field. Jared Vanderbilt, Malik Beasley, those guys were reported. Lakers were trying, that one of the big reasons that trade didn't get done earlier was because the Lakers wanted Jared Vanderbilt, but Utah wasn't willing to trade Jared Vanderbilt. Originally, it was like Rudy Gay, Mike Conley, and Malik Beasley, I believe is what it was for Russell Westbrook. And then they ended up eventually caving and giving the Lakers Jared Vanderbilt, right? So again, you have the Lakers usually are like 50-50 as far as like the operating in silence, right? So I wouldn't be shocked if a trade just comes out of left field. But again, like Lakers still have some real clear needs, right? Now, look, the center position, is that something that is as big of a need right now? I don't think so. Like, I would prefer a more quality backup. I would prefer, if you can get a Nick Rich or something like that, make Jackson Hayes your third big. Right? Lakers supposedly are good on, Jackson Hayes and Maxi Kleber. They like it. But I think that a lot of that is just, that's what you put out there. Hey, man, look at how good Jackson Hayes was for us last year. And now he's our backup, right? We upgraded into DeAndre Ayton as our starter. Maxi Kleber, look, he's always been a great stretch big, a veteran guy, slotting at the 4, slotting at the 5, right? That's what we want. If we can get an Al Horford, great, but we got a Maxi Kleber, worst case scenario. He's getting healthy. Things are starting to work up there, right? You put that perception out there, right? Because, again, when you're having these trade conversations for Nick Richards, what were the original reports when the Lakers had nobody? that the Lakers are desperate. Lakers are desperate and you are desperate, and therefore the price is this. This is the price. The price is the price. Right? Well, all of a sudden it's like, well, we got DeAndre Ayton and we got a Jackson Hayes who was really good for us and built some really good chemistry with Luka, right? And we still have Maxi Kleber, who can be our stretch big that we're interested in. We would love to get, Yves Missi. We'd love to get, Nick Richards. We'd love to get any of these guys. But at the end of the day, right, we're not gonna force the issue. We're not gonna rush to go do this. We're more than happy to have these guys. Right? And now you have just a little more leverage because now you don't have to execute this and you can wait for that team that is willing to give you the center that you're looking for at the price. Why you hear the Lakers linked to like 7 different centers, right? Because they're waiting which one of those teams is going to blink first. And that's the team you end up pulling the trade off with, right? So, but I don't think center is a rush, right? Like I'm fine. Like if the Lakers win into the season with the centers that they have, I'm fine, right? I think you need to upgrade the wing spot. Now, again, I don't think any move right now is a rush. 1, you got 3 months before training camp. 2, right? Again, Lakers' best asset is the expiring contracts, which will appreciate as the season progresses. The closer you can get to the trade deadline. Now, ideally, I'd like to have our roster just ready to go and shaped up. I really worry about the Lakers' defense, but during the regular season, you'll be fine. You're not like Lakers will run through teams. They'll be the best offense in basketball. Right? You can beat 90% of the teams in the league just by outscoring them, especially over an 82-game season. Lakers will probably win 55 games as is. I just worry come playoff time when things start tightening up, teams get more physical, right? You don't get the foul calls like you usually do, right? Games are tight, so you got to get stops and all that. And will the Lakers be able to get those stops necessary in order to have their offense? Especially, I don't care how good your offense is, you're going to have stretches where the offense you can't find the bottom of the net to save your life, right? So ideally, I'd like them to focus and upgrade at the wing position, get that fixed, get that resolved, and then the Lakers kind of figure everything else out from there, from a backup center position or whatever. Right? Also, come playoff time, you're usually not playing your backup 25, 30 minutes, right? Like during the regular season, you might play your backup, 20, 25 minutes. But, and he might start some games, all of that. But during the playoffs, your backup's playing maybe 10 minutes. You got to keep in mind, Lakers are still going to go small at times, right? Because certain matchups, certain teams, like you're playing the Warriors, you want to kind of match them and spread them out and, let Luka be able to operate and just pick them apart and LeBron put his head down and get to the basket and, have cutters. And so certain matchups, you're still going to go small. So that backup, even if it is Jackson Hayes, which I would prefer as like a 10 to 15 minute guy off the bench as a third big, once you get to the playoffs, that's all your backup's going to be. So Jackson Hayes would be fine as your primary backup come playoff time, right? And he has chemistry. They have all that. If you get the shooting and stuff that you need, you'll be fine because you'll be able to stretch teams out more. So where Jackson Hayes will be more of that threat. Where last year, Minnesota was able to kind of, leak out and then kind of be mindful of the Jackson Hayes lob. And also Jackson Hayes isn't skilled when he does get the ball. Or at least DeAndre Ayton, he's a guy that is skilled, right? If he gets the ball at the elbow, like in the dunker spot area, and they collapse on him, he can just shoot over the top or pass back out, right? So he's a guy that you don't really have to worry about. Jackson Hayes is basically he's catching lobs and hammering them home, right? Or if he catches the ball and they collapse, he's trying to pass out of it, but he's not super comfortable in that, right? So again, like I just look at the situation and I just look at everything. And to me, it looks like a trade just kind of feels inevitable. Like something is brewing. Something is coming. Now, does that mean it's going to happen today? No. Does that mean it's going to happen tomorrow? No. Right? Like, look, trades take time, usually. Very rarely do trades. I mean, the Luka trade, they were talking and negotiating for over a month, supposedly. Right? Most trades take weeks. Right? I mean, look at this big 7-team trade and whatnot. Now, maybe it's already out by the time, we got the news by the time, you're watching this video, but those trades, that trade is still going on, right? They're still negotiating because at least at the time of recording this video, they haven't announced it. And there's a lot of people that think that trade is just going to be, a bunch of all the other trades that have already happened all kind of clumped together. And maybe it will, right? Maybe they're not going to finalize it until the day that they can on July 6th, right? And then you get the announcement and that's all it is. But it just kind of feels like if it was done, you would already hear like, hey, deal's done, waiting to be finalized. Here's the package. Here's the trade. And again, maybe that comes out later today. Maybe while you're watching this video, maybe it's already happened. We'll see. But regardless, Lakers got to get things done. Right? Lakers are still linked to several free agents, and they have a 15-man roster spot. And they only have 2 guys that they can waive, right? Shake Milton and Jordan Goodwin, which Jordan Goodwin I'd like to keep. If you can keep Jordan Goodwin, I prefer to keep Jordan Goodwin. So if you do sign an Al Horford and you do sign a DeAnthony Melton, right? And let's say, whatever, you can get, let's say the Lakers really are interested in Ryan Rollins and you can sign Ryan Rollins. Well, then guess what, right? You have too many players. Now it's 16 guys. So you're going to have to pull off a trade to make something happen, right? And the Lakers have just been linked to so many guys. Like, usually that's a good sign that something's going to get done. Rob Pelinka, look, say what you want about Rob Pelinka. The guy is trade happy, right? The guy's made a trade. Like, people always go, oh, he's not going to make a trade. He's not going to make a trade. He's made a trade every year he's been in office, but 1 year. And it was the 1 year where he said there was literally nothing to get. Like, nobody wanted to trade. Nobody had, like, all the prices were insane. It just, like, we couldn't even pull off some of the trades, right? So, like, if Rob Pelinka, if there's a trade to be had, Rob Pelinka's going to do it, right? Because he's done it every year. But anyway, as always, this is a discussion. Pass a question to you. Let me know your thoughts and opinions down in the comments. That being said, if you haven't liked this video, hit that like button. Helps me a lot. So we enjoy these types of videos. Truly appreciate it. Not subscribe channel. Hit that subscribe button. Turn on the bell notifications. Appreciate y'all. See you in the next one.